earlier so that hopefully we're good now. So
just the three of us today.
I think so. It's like if we hear a knock on the door, let me know. But I think it's just the three of us. So yep. Well, when you get settled down onto the floor, give your muscles a chance to just relax open, especially the back muscles. Sometimes those speak to me the first moment of class when it's like, I'm listening. Any tightness from the evening, any tightness from yesterday, it's like I'm starting to feel it now. And so let yourself have a moment to just let the breath flow. Like helping to send that signal to the body, I'm safe, I'm relaxed, good things are gonna happen. So while we're here nice and comfortable, let's take a moment to connect with our intention for the class. We've got our spring equinox coming up this weekend. And so I was thinking of a spring idea, kind of the idea of imagining a seed. And imagine that seed as it goes through its process of germination, trying to start to duplicate its cells from within. And then eventually it has to crack that seed open and start to take its sprouts. So imagine that's kind of like how we're heading into our class today. We're going to take several poses throughout. Poses like child pose, the first pose we take curling in, cobbler pose, different things like that feel kind of like a seed, kind of like you're curled in and rounded in a little ball. So we'll take some poses like that, and we'll kind of start off nice and easy, especially through the joints, making sure we include some time for wrists, for ankles, some of those tight spots of our body. And we'll just gradually build up our heat, gradually build up energy. At the end, we'll do a couple of extra energizing things, but we're just gradually building up to that and then just enjoying the stretches from when the body is warm. So imagine that's like a plant starting to take that process of starting to grow. And so with the knees coming into the chest, it's like this first little seed idea. So take it easy, just gentle movements for the back, for the hips. And maybe we're thinking of what type of seed we'd like to grow over the next couple of months. Imagining in our life, it's like we have infinite potential. We don't always realize it, but you can change the direction of your life at any moment. So just kind of ask yourself, what seed would I like to plant? What seed would I like to grow? What would I like to see flourish in my life? Good. So from here, let's release the left leg long to the ground. When that one's down, let's begin to take the right leg up to the sky. Don't feel like you're forcing anything too soon, but any types of easy movements or deep stretches that just feel helpful, feel free to explore it for a moment. Good, I hear that breath flowing. Keep it going. That breath will lead us through the journey. Good, so take a moment for this leg to open up super wide to the right. This will help us tune into the inner thigh area for a moment. When the leg lifts back up, keep it straight. We go about halfway, about that 45-degree angle to the left. This is us starting to tune into the outer thigh IT band area. Give that moment a breath or two. Deep, long, relaxing cycles. And eventually letting the knee bend. Let's continue to melt into the twist to this side. Don't feel like you're forcing anything. Kind of spread that right arm to the right, and then the rest of the body just twists to the amount that feels good. Good. So when the hip returns back to the ground, take this right thigh and cross it over the left thigh. Once we're there, grab onto each ankle. It's a nice deep hip stretch. If ankles are too far, grab closer to knees, that's fine. Couple of breaths. These first initial stretches we're taking sometimes are really into deep spots. We take some time to let it start opening. As the legs start to release, find them resting on the ground in this crossed shape. And then right elbow winds under left, eagle's wrap. We're gonna ease our arms into a nice shoulder stretch. So maybe the fingers try to find the ground toward the space above the head. Or maybe there's something else we can do to kind of pivot or twist around to get the shoulders and the neck into a nice open. Just whatever feels helpful, whatever feels nice. A little bit of warmth for our body to kind of get us kicked off. So we're going to do 10 crunches, elbows trying to get to knees. Take an inhale to prep. Exhale, crunch up 10. And relax down. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Good work. Arms release. Legs go straight up to the sky. When they open out wide, let the hands rest on the inner thighs, getting both legs to stretch together. Well, that heart's starting to pump alive. It's almost like that's the beginning of the seed starting to germinate. Good. So when legs come back together, let's plant the feet close to the glutes. Hands go on the floor by the hips. Let's take a bridge pose, rolling up. Once we're at the high spot with the hips, maybe hands can clasp under the back. Maybe shoulders walk under. A couple of breaths here. Things starting to open, starting to stretch out. Let's take another good inhale. Exhale, release hands, release shoulders, roll back down. Good. Right leg drops long to the earth. Left leg up to sky. Again, you don't have to force anything, but listen to your body. Maybe ankle rolls, maybe hamstring stretch. Just open up good things. Moment for the leg to open out to left. Leg back up, straight leg, 45-degree angle to the right. Starting to ease into outer thigh, outer hip. And bending the knee, let the twist go as deep as it wants to go. Maybe left arm reaching to left. So when hips start to return down, that left thigh will cross tightly over right, grabbing onto ankles if we can. It's so nice to take so much time to just be with these parts. Piece by piece by piece, we're discovering things. Okay, so when hands release, leg stays crossed over, left elbow winds under. Then find your shoulders in a good stretch, whatever that means, maybe fingers working toward the ground above the head. Nice inhale. Exhale, let's take our 10 crunches. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good work. Release the arms, legs straight up to the sky. Imagine a huge rubber band around the thighs. Open up the legs. 3. It's like you're creating your own resistance. Then legs back together. 2. 1. Then open out wide, let the hands rest on the inner thighs. Just a couple of bonus breaths here. In this very similar way, we're gradually going to start building up a little bit of heat in the body. Just gradually. Imagine that's like the cells starting to become more active inside the seed. And so here, when the thighs come back together, let's make our way up to sit. Sometimes rolling like a ball 3 or 4 times feels good. Sometimes just come directly up and that's fine. When it feels good to be up, take bottoms and feet together. You can grab onto ankles, you can grab onto shins, but trying to sit up tall, feel as if the grip helps to pull your shoulders kind of down and away from the neck. And so a nice long pull to start with. And from that tall posture, good shoulder opener already going on, let's take a couple of movements for the neck. So let's drop our right ear over our right shoulder. Just pause for a moment. Head nice and easy up. And we'll start to take left ear over left shoulder. And lift up. When we take the chin up, it's more of a stretch for throat than the bones on the back. So what I usually do is lift a little bit and then jut the jaw forward. That gets me into the throat, into that thyroid area. Good, and then head returns. Let the head drop down, chin to chest. Our posture, the rest of it is still tall, but begin to ease into some of those muscles on the back of the neck. So sometimes I need to go like just a hair left and right to start easing into that. Other times, if I just let the head be heavy, that gets me there. So be conscious about your body and start aiming toward a good spot. Then keeping the head heavy, start to let the rest of the spine round down. And don't feel like you're in any rush. Sometimes approaching the pose this way is so super, super different than approaching it from a very straight spine. So any of the tight muscles on the neck or the back, just give time for it. Don't feel like you're forcing any shape. You're just listening for the perfect amount, and that's where we ease. And then work the spine back up, and we'll roll up flat. Once we're back up, just a hair of strengthening. This will be boat pose. So knees come together. You could just lean back a hair. That would be a good activation. Or for more, toes lift. Maybe hands stay under the thigh. Maybe hands float. Maybe play with one leg straightening. Maybe the other. Maybe both legs together, or go to a different variation that I already said. It's not a competition, but whatever you can maintain comfortably. Let's fold for a count of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good work. Tuck the legs in, crossing the legs. We'll come up and over onto hands and knees. Then first thing on our hands and knees, let's take a child pose, almost like that's the shape of that seed again. Let those back muscles and the shoulder muscles get a chance to just pause and be. Give it a couple of breaths. Like you're in that seed state again. How has it changed already from the beginning to now? When we start to make our way up onto hands and knees, let's take 3 or 4 easy cat cows, just letting the spine round up and down. A couple more. Good. Wrapping up the next one. And then spine it neutral. Almost like today's little tiny burst of core stuff. It's like a little burst of heat, kind of like how the seed feels, that extra heat when it's during the daytime. So a little burst of heat here. Let's work our way to plank, lifting knees if you can. From plank, our head is going to be like the battery grab, forward and back. Let's do 10. Almost like we're knocking on the top of our seat. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good work. Lower the knees down. Keep the hips over the knees. Take puppy pose. Arms walk forward. And feel the spine take a nice deep back bend, kind of our first back bend of the day. Imagine heart's trying to drop down to the earth. Sometimes forehead is nice to be down. Occasionally people can do the chin flip so that chin is on the ground, but you don't have to force that. It's only if that's naturally the shape of your body. Nice inhale. And exhale, sink the hips back into child. Give the spine a chance to round to that other direction. And we'll start easing into some of our extremities, like I promised, our wrists, ankles, all those goodies. So coming back up to kneel, let's tuck our toes, even pinky toe if you can. And we start to sit our hips back, so our weight goes onto our feet. This will start to stretch the fascia of the feet. Sometimes leaning forward, the best thing we can do with a little bit of weight back. If your feet can handle you coming all the way up, that is an option, but that slightly forward is the easier variation. So you choose the perfect amount for your feet. Give it a couple of breaths. And only if you don't need hands, you could choose to do a little shoulder stretch with me. Right arm going across, left hugs it in, maybe head drops to left shoulder. And if that was accessible, let's open back out both arms. And then left arm into the stretch, hug it in, head to the right. Last breath in, out, open arms. Good, hands on the floor. Let's give the toes a break. So this could be little ankle rolls, or it can be pounding the feet. So whatever feels better to get some circulation in those toes, those extremities. Good, and we'll stretch the feet to the other direction now. So point the toes. Kind of come sitting back under the feet from there. Our left hand will just help to prop us up to the left. And then right hand picks up the right knee. This will stretch the front part of the foot. Good, yeah, different people can handle different heights. It just depends on your anatomy. Another inhale. Exhale, start to release, switch it out. Good work. Lowering down. When we take a down dog here, we'll first just kind of let the feet have another chance to rock, to pound, whatever feels good. And then when we take our down dog here, let this be mostly about the feet. So we start to lift the hips up, rock all around on your feet. It's like we're trying to roll around from one part of the foot to another, trying to include as much surface area as possible. Good. So from here, float the right leg up to the sky. Step the right foot in between hands, dropping the back knee down. Once you're here, we'll do 5 easy cycles, kind of easing into the hip. So first we start forward like this, and then we just straighten the front leg. That was 1. Here we're going for 4. And straight. Just kind of easing around back and forth, both sides of the leg. 3. 2. 1. When we go back forward, you can keep hands down. If you can bring hands up to thigh with balance, keep the hips sinking forward. And then we'll start moving into the wrists a little bit. So hands will drop down. They tuck in to the forearm. From there, you inhale up to sky. When you exhale, flip the hands backwards and then drop them down. So it's working through our wrist. Tuck in 4, inhale. Exhale. 3. 2. 1. Good, and then lizard, hands come to the inside of the front foot. Maybe the front foot goes just a little bit closer to the edge of the mat. You can stay on hands, you can lower one elbow down. Occasionally people can do both, don't feel like you're forcing anything. If even the block is accessible, you could drop an elbow down onto a block. Good. Another beautiful inhale. Exhale, coming up to hands. Let this leg come back. Before the second side, let's take a nice dolphin pose. So lower to elbows, tuck the toes, lift the hips up. From there, if you have room to walk the toes in a couple of steps, walk them in. We're gonna try to stay here a couple of breaths. This is warming up our body, that little burst of heat again. If you need to drop down to child's pose before me, that's okay. Otherwise, try to hold a few more breaths. Maybe 3 more cycles of breath. Whenever you finish that third round, feel free to take a child's pose. Just let your heart have that break. Let your breath catch up for a moment. That moment of feeling alive, getting that energy flowing through us again. Good. When you're ready for down dog, play with your feet again, letting the feet roll all around. Almost like we're giving it a little massage. Usually our feet are stuck in kind of one position in our shoes, so this is that chance to roll in any directions that just feel good. Good. When you're ready to float left leg up to sky, feel it reach up for just a moment. And we'll step left foot in between hands. Once we're there, back knee can lower to floor. Then the 5 easy cycles with the front leg straight. Then go right back forward to that ease of the psoas. Good. Repeating 4. And down. 3. 2. 1. When we're back forward, you choose again, our hands staying down, or do we have the balance to come up? If up, maybe we can do the freedom with the wrists. Tuck them in, inhale up. Flex back, exhale down. 4. 3. 2. 1. Beautiful. Hands to the inside of the front foot. Maybe the foot goes a little wider. You can stay on hands. Maybe one elbow goes down, maybe both. Lizard. Okay, when we head back, let's do another round of dolphin. So elbows down, tuck the toes, lift the hips up, and then maybe walk the toes in. Another couple of rounds before we take our child's pose, like that seat again. Maybe one more good inhale. Good. Exhale, take a few moments, just rest in child. And then back up onto hands and knees. Let's take a moment for our wrists. So from this kneeling position, let your right hand come down. Fingers are pointed to the center of the mat. So from here, let the right elbow bend and then straighten. When you go straighter, it'll go deeper to the stretch. You don't have to go all the way if the wrist is having issues. And take it 4 and straighten, not all the way necessarily. 3, 2, 1. And lifting that hand up, maybe shake just a hair. And right hand down, left tucks in. And then left elbow bends and straightens. Repeating 4, 3, 2, 1. And lifting up, maybe shake it. Good. From here, both hands walk around in a circle. If you're going the full way, it would be middle fingers all the way around toward the knees, but not everybody can go there. So already this could be plenty of a stretch just staying here. Only if you need more, you can start to head your hips backwards a little bit. It's just whatever amount your wrists need. A couple more breaths. Right, come forward for a moment, then lift the hands up. We can be on our toes or on our high heel, whatever feels good. Open and close the hands. Then roll the wrists. Good. One last.
I would imagine this would be really good for carpal tunnel, right?
This is a good sequence for it. Yep.
Yeah. Something like that.
From computers and all sorts of repetitive motions. Yep. Yep. One last wrist stretch. So this would be the backs of the hands down, fingers for the knees. Not everybody can go all the way, so don't feel like you have to force it. If you get here and you're like, I don't really feel much, then backing the hips backwards again will get you deeper. So just find the perfect amount that feels good for us.
I really feel that in my thumbs. Is that where you feel it?
Not me, but different people, it's just different tight spots, yeah.
I feel it the very friendly way. Really.
Okay, so again, ease it up. Same thing, open and close. Maybe circles. Maybe shakes. Good. And we want to give our wrists a little break after doing all that stretching. So all we're going to do is just lift up enough that we can head to like a dangling pose at the back of our mat. So not much effort for wrists. We're hanging heavy. Maybe hands are at elbows. Maybe hands are taking like that. Just whatever feels good for wrists for a moment. Bend the knees, let's roll our way up. Even circling arms up to a little back bend, just a moment. Good, hands down to heart. Leaving the left foot at the back, right foot steps just about 25% up the mat. So just a small little step. From here, before we go down, let's do 5 more of those wrist things we were doing earlier. So tuck the wrist in, inhale up, flex back, exhale down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring hands to hips. A couple of breaths going forward into pyramid. Slide the hands down, maybe to shin, maybe to blocks or floor. Good. Bending the knees, roll our way up. Left foot to about 50% of the mat. Wrist things again, tuck in, inhale. Pull back, exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bends to hips, keeping a hip square, go forward, and then slide down. Bending the knees, roll up. Right foot steps up to about 75%. This time, larger arm circles, 5 to each direction, getting into shoulders. So go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This time when we go down toward pyramid, we're going to be rocking back and forth like a rocking horse. So first we lift up the back heel, rock our weight forward, and then setting that heel down, lift up the front toes. Just kind of rocking horse back and forth a couple of times if you choose the speed. Good. Find stillness. Just another good breath in. Out. And rise up. Last step, left foot to 100%. Arm circles, going for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last time going forward, then rocking horse. Back to the lifts, our weight goes forward. Then back heel drops down, lift up the front toes. Back and forth. You're ready, a moment of stillness. And the knees roll up. As we step our right foot forward, we prepare to take our weight onto the right foot. So left knee rotates open tree. Feel it if you can root down. Maybe the foot slides higher, up to you. Only if balance is pretty stable, maybe arms reach up. Think of this like maybe we're just starting to crack out of our seed. And it's almost like we're starting to try to play with what is down and what is up. We have to find those two directions to know where to grow. Good, nice inhale. Exhale, drop that foot down. Second side right away, standing on left, rotate right open. Maybe it climbs. Maybe we play with those opposing energies. Foot finding down, arms finding up. It's like when you're a seed still in the dirt. It's kind of a fun experience. Nobody can see you yet, but you're starting to break free. You're starting to play with where's gravity, where's the sun, I need to find it. So one more inhale. Good, exhale, drop that right foot down. We're gonna add just a little bit of heat as we're starting to wrap up. So float this right knee in front of us, elbows are into our waists. As the leg shoots back to touch the floor, float the arms forward, and then we try to bring it right back in with balance. Good, the touch back, here's 7, and come forward. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. As the thigh comes up, let's take it into eagle. So maybe try to wrap it over. Maybe right elbow under. Bending standing leg to send ourselves just a little bit tighter wound. Nice inhale. Exhale, unwind, the foot finds the floor, let the upper body just be loose. Nice little twirls, left and right. Good. One more side. So now we're standing on the right foot, float the left knee, elbows in. Send the toes back to touch, arms float forward, and return up. Repeating 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When it comes up, start to wind. Wrapping it over, maybe left elbow under. Eagle's pose. Good. Inhale. Exhale, release. Find the floor. Again, just feel nice and loose upper body. Good. One last heating sequence to wrap us up. So back facing forward. Circle arms up to sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands plant down. We step back to plank and then up to down dog. This sequence, if you need to skip parts of it's okay. Just do the best you can do. So float right leg up to sky, three-legged dog. And then shift that right knee to nose and plank. Return up, 4. And forward. 3, 2, 1. When we get back up to three-legged dog, maybe stay. Maybe send the toes behind you. Or some of us may do a complete flip, wild thing. You just have to stay. One inhale. And then exhale, start to unwind. Right leg back up to sky. And then pigeon pose, right knee under and through. In pigeon, before we go down, take a little back bend. So walking our hands in. Occasionally there's people who can grab the left foot in the left hand. So if that's not too much, you can try for it. Good. If you ever grab it, you can play with the foot coming into the wrist or into the forearm or elbow, but don't have to force it. Good. One last inhale. And exhale, sleeping pigeon. Give it a break. Like we're establishing our root system, so strong, so powerful. We've got one more side with that heating sequence. Again, just do what you can do, skip the rest. So hands plant. Step the back toes, let's take down dog. A couple of movements for our hips to kind of loosen up after that deep pigeon. Good. When you're ready, three-legged dog, left leg floats. 5 times, knee to nose. And return. 4, keep the breath flowing. 3, 2, 1. Maybe keep the leg up. Maybe rotate the toes behind you. Maybe flip wildly. Good. Just 1 inhale. Exhale, unwind. Left leg floats and left knee under your body, pigeon. Stay in the back bend. Or maybe right hand to right toes. Good. 2 more breaths. And we release, dropping forward. Good. Feel that heat. I imagine that, I don't know, when you think of a seed, you think of it not really having a temperature. You think of it just being whatever the ambient temperature is, which is probably true, but I imagine that moment right as the seed is getting ready to burst open, I imagine that when the cells are so jam-packed, there must be a little bit of extra heat with so much cellular activity going on. I imagine it almost like that moment right before the Big Bang when suddenly, boom, potential has expanded out, things are happening. So imagine that heat we just created is like that potential energy that's leading us for this final segment of class. So take another huge inhale. Such a calm exhale. When we come back up onto hands, let's bring our knees into kneeling. So both knees underneath us. A couple of huge hip circles, circles going clockwise as wide as the hips can circle. And then counterclockwise. 1 more time to each side. Good. Lowering down onto our bellies for Sphinx, elbows underneath us. Feel this heart opening in such a nice way. Maybe 1 more chance to get into our quad, those huge muscles. So left hand swivels in, and then right foot picks up, or right hand tries to grab it. If you can hook down to it, pull it in until it feels like that quad is stretching. Give it a couple of breaths. And when we release into second side, trying to get the quad. When we release, a shoulder stretch to each side. So take the right arm out to the right, and then flip the right cheek down. We press into the left hand until we start feeling the shoulder stretch. So sometimes people get the hips to stack. Sometimes the top leg rotates back, kind of like the idea of scorpion pose. But don't feel like you're forcing anything. It's only the amount that feels helpful for the shoulder. Another good inhale. Exhale, release down, switch it out, left arm to left, left cheek down. Pressing until we feel left shoulder. Maybe hip stack, maybe top leg rotates. And when we return down, let's take one last pigeon pose together, one last child pose. Feeling that seed shape one more time before we move on. In this seed shape, if you'd like to do any variations, like walking the hands off the right side of the mat, walking off the left side, arms tucking forward, arms tucking back, take any variation that feels nice. You can stay here a bit longer, or you can take any other stretches your body would love for you to take prior to your final Shavasana. You're welcome to take the next 30 seconds, maybe the next minute or so, just explore or rest, or do anything that helps to lead you to that positive, beautiful, meditative state. You're welcome to take as much time as you need, playing, exploring. No rush to be in Shavasana, but when you are there, just imagine you're in that zone of kind of infinite potential. All you have to do to be there is just breathe. But perhaps it's helpful to kind of let your imagination just figure out where your intuition wants to go. Where would I like to take this potential energy? Where would I like to grow in my life? What seeds would I like to see flourish? Just letting this kind of potential energy, positive state lead us forward into this next few minutes with deep breaths in and out. And here we begin to deepen inhales and exhales. Introducing little movements back to fingers and toes. Ankles and wrists. Stretching out like we're waking up first thing in the morning. At some point, taking a nice fetal position to one side when you're ready. When we rise up sooner or later, hands will join together in front of our heart. And we feel how we would love our energy to help us grow and transform. We feel the seeds we'd like to plant, things we'd like to do with this next few weeks and months of our life. What would we like to see manifested in front of us? And so with this potential energy, with this excitement for the future to help lead us on, let's wrap up the time we got to share together today with the sound of Om. Deep inhale now. Om. May we be filled with light, happiness, and peace. Namaste.